So I have been wanting to do this for a while, which is make a video to talk about the tips or the lessons that I've learned um, through life about love and dating. And I wanted to do it against my whole album. So yeah, I'm gonna go song by song, starting with Loving You Was Killing Me, which is playing right now, and kind of go through like basically what the song is about and the key takeaways from like why I wrote it, and hopefully it could help somebody out there who's also in the pursuit of finding like true love and true happiness. But yeah, here we go. So for me, the reason why I had to kind of like write Loving You Was Killing Me was literally amidst a relationship where that's exactly how I felt. Like I was trying to keep it going and I was trying to have everything kind of like work out, but it felt like no matter what I did, it was just not happening. Or it felt like the future was bleak, and the sense of kind of hopelessness that I had about that specific person and the details of like what our future would look like, it just didn't feel solid, and I couldn't get super excited because I couldn't see it. And at the same time, I was still very much trying really hard to go through the motions and like have the conversations about, you know, our future, like what's it gonna look like, where would we want to live, what are, you know, like the values that we share, that we want to establish in our next chapter and things like that. And it kind of felt like every time I wanted a conversation to build upon the foundation that we had, which was obviously like friendship and chemistry and like having fun, I couldn't, it just wasn't culminating into like what I needed, which was a vision of what life would be beyond just like the day-to-day and the status quo of having fun, like having a meal, having a drink, seeing friends. Like I just needed more than that, and like a purpose for what our love would be. So it was really hard because I really did genuinely love this person as a person, because they were like a phenomenal human being, and I knew that there was nothing wrong with them, but the relationship just wasn't right. And so lesson number one, you can't force it. If you know, you know, you gotta let it go. Okay, so Heartbreaker pretty much came like right after that. Like genuinely, it wrote itself. I think because ultimately I did break up and I had to, but it was rough to let somebody down, and to, yeah, even for myself, like it was twofold. So obviously disappointing someone and having like 2-3 years of a relationship end and effectively just be nothing, then also took a toll on me. So the song Heartbreaker, the chorus of it is literally said, I've always been a heartbreaker, I'll break your heart in two, which like that happened, and I didn't feel good about it, because typically like you hear the word heartbreaker or like someone says that about someone and it's like, oh, like something, you know, to brag about. It's not. I felt like at the end of the day it was me also just kind of feeling like, what's wrong with me? Kind of feeling like, am I able to keep a relationship beyond a couple of years? Like, really, is it on me? Am I just like not vulnerable enough? So basically the end of that relationship did make me go inwards and like made me kind of like gaslight myself regarding like if I even was capable of like a long-term relationship. So even though I knew, like, I stood on what I felt like was my gut, there was some second guessing involved afterwards, and I did have to like question my own emotional like maturity to see something through. So I think ultimately, like, the takeaway from that season, that chapter, and this song is that heartbreak, no matter who is like ending the relationship, it will be felt both ways. So even though like I broke it off, I mean, I don't know, at the end, it just, you don't even know who did what, but I think I still didn't feel great about it, which is normal if you have a heart and you're a person with a heart and a conscience. So yeah, I think it's normal to give yourself the time to like feel bad and like feel bad about feeling bad. And even though in your head it all makes sense and logically like you did what you had to do, it still sucks. Cause yeah, it's like you cut off effectively like what was love that was flowing both ways. But love in itself isn't always enough. So yeah, that's why heartbreak happens. And then we move on to the third song, which is arguably maybe like, I don't know, from the feedback I got, the most popular one on the album, just because it is like the most high energy, and I really do feel like there's a reason for that. So for this song, you know, I will say that it probably comes down to when you're at the beginning of the dating phase or like getting to know someone and they're super, I don't know, attractive to you, like in your eyes, they fit some kind of ideal, however momentary. It definitely elicits like a ton of hormones and just like giddiness and enthusiasm, and that's basically what this song is about. But after verse 2, I do have a bridge, and it goes like, I think it's just a little too much, too real to feel to seal the deal. So that is basically like after my chorus of being like, how about we like get together or whatever, it's me taking a step back and just kind of like really thinking about it and being like super nervous, super hesitant, super like maybe not, which is super normal when you're really, really, really excited about someone and it like feels too good to be true. So like 50% of the time when it feels too good to be true, it's because it is. But 50% of the time, if it's too good to be true, it's just really is that good? I don't know. You have to just go with your gut. But yeah, for this song, it was inspired by just like dating and being really excited about somebody and feeling like, yeah, it's really just fun to be around them and they're great. So this is like probably the most energetic or enthusiastic song because of that. So yeah, we're at the bridge right now. But I do want to caution like that in dating, you will notice that the person that you kind of become like semi-obsessed with like obsessed, where you can't like stop thinking about them, and like you just like cannot stop thinking about them. You can't get anything done. You can't like focus on literally anything else. That's probably not a healthy relationship, in my opinion, in my experiences. I don't know, everyone's different, so I can't say for sure for everyone, like blanket statement. But I think if the fire burns really quickly, it can burn out just as quickly. There's like a specific cliche or like anecdote about it that I'm like totally not remembering, but yeah, what is it? The bigger the flame, the flame that burns twice as bright burns half as long. Yeah, the flame that burns twice as bright burns half as long. Lao Tzu. Okay, I just quoted someone, I have no idea, it's fine. And here we are at Come To Me, which is actually my first song that I recorded in LA. And yeah, this song means a lot to me because it was like the song that made me just like realize, whoa, I like made this thing that's really cool and it sounds really fun, it sounds good. It did just kind of like it took me by surprise, basically, because I really felt like, wow, it's a pretty good song for the fact that it was done in 5 hours. And like people that are close to me know that this song I made because Airbnb Experiences had recommended like an experience of like make a song when I was visiting LA. So I booked it because I was gonna have like a day to myself before my friends were arriving. And yeah, basically 5 hours later this song came out of just some random Airbnb experience in the studio with a guy named Taylor, really good guy, really talented too, because we banged this out literally like in 5 to 6 hours, and it has like a lot of different layers, a lot of different percussion instruments. Okay, so let me get to the point of the song, or the reason why I wrote the song, which isn't like immediately obvious because of how it sounds and the chorus, which is Come To Me and The Lonely Nights, but you'll know what it is about when you hear the bridge, which is happening right now. When you try to tell me we're just friends, I'll cover my ears and play pretend, 'cause in the rain the pavement shines like silver. And that line is actually from the Broadway show Les Miserables, in the song On My Own, which is like just like one of my favorite Broadway, probably the only Broadway song that I know the lyrics to, because I really love it, and it's super sad and melodramatic. But basically, yeah, that girl was singing it because she had like really deep feelings for Jean Paul or Jean Pierre, one of the main characters in it, and he didn't like her back. He liked, I don't know, her sister or somebody else, and she knew that was just never gonna happen, but like she still was like madly in love with him. So yeah, it is a song about unrequited love. Unrequited love. I hope I said that right. Okay, so then bringing us to They Say, this song is actually the first song like I wrote lyrically. Yeah, it's the first song I wrote lyrically, and it's the first song I wrote that brought tears to my eyes. I don't know if it's the tears that wrote the song or the song that caused the tears, but I just remember like I was like helping my parents' business, and I was just like there, and I literally wrote like this first verse. I wrote the first verse, this pre-chorus, and then the chorus, and I just like sang it, and I got like super emotional, and at the same time I was like, wait, that's a pretty cool song. And so this song is genuinely, as the lyrics state, it's about like people will talk a lot or whatever, I don't know. Sometimes you just can feel it, and they say a lot of stuff. They really take their sweet time and use that sweet time to talk about things that don't involve them. And like, yeah, it's about judgment from society and like this basically this ideal or like mold that everyone wants to, I don't know, project onto people. Like, you gotta meet the mold, fit the mold, and etc. And honestly, at that time, I was early 30s, but feeling like, okay, like, there are people at my age right now that like are starting to have kids. A good amount of them are married, and I wasn't yet. And so it was really a song of just like, who cares what people say, and let's not let it impact our relationship. And essentially, like, I was actually singing it to myself more than anything. So probably in the moment I was singing it to like some kind of male whatever person in my mind, but I think that when I look at the lyrics and I still sing it, like, it still evokes a lot of emotionality, and not because I'm thinking of like some guy from the past. It's literally like, I feel like I keep singing the song to myself. And yeah, I say that I love me today, and I think that's the biggest takeaway from this song. It's just that we should always choose ourselves, and no matter what people say or try to project or judge or like say behind your back, you have to be okay with it, and you have to stand on your own ground and just continue to love yourself the best that you can. And in my case, it means just like completely removing yourself from negative, toxic like spaces, or people that wanna, I don't know, just like talk a lot of shit that they can't do anything about. So that's what They Say is about. I really love that song. And so we will be talking about Ugly now. And Ugly is super, super fun because it's just like all about the emotions of dating. And I can't even tell you exactly like what or who inspired me, because I don't think there was like a particular person that I was dating. I think it was just a moment where I felt like I don't look good today. I think I'm gross today. And there was like a kindness offered to me that I just was like, why are you nicer when I'm ugly? And I thought that was like a funny line, so I just rolled with it. And yes, there's real trumpet in this song, which also makes it like really special. The band at the time was like really torn up about it. I think half of them really didn't like the trumpet, but I did. I felt like it was necessary, and yeah, it's just a little pop of, it's just like a little flare of fun. But yeah, this song, if you hear the lyrics, it does kind of like go back and forth into like, I just want to hold hands with you, I just want to dance. But then the verses are really like biting and like, I don't know, almost like defensive. which is exactly who I am. It's a lot of like, why are you making me feel anything? I don't want to. So yeah, but this height, or I guess we could call it a bridge, it's like a build-up. And this is probably the most like honest part of the song, where I'm like getting louder and like just saying, give me more time so that the world can feel like ours. Like, yeah, I just think this song's really fun because the lyrics are like pretty romantic, even though the verses are really biting, and then instrumentally it's pretty aggressive, which makes it fun to play live because it's, again, like a lot of energy and it's just like attack. But then there's moments where we pull back and it's like softness. So it allows for a lot of dynamics, which is probably why this is, yeah, like one of my favorites on the album. Because musically it feels like there's like a real arrangement, and you also like hear a real trumpet, so it feels like kind of like an orchestral effect. It like goes somewhere. It goes places from where it starts to where it ends. So I really do love this song. And I have a live version of it up on the channel that was recently played at the Mint LA. So yeah, you'll get a sense of how that feels live. So on to See What I See, which is a very special song. Because See What I See is when, like around the time that I started dating my now husband. I forget if we recorded it like before or after engagement, but he happened to also be a really good piano player. Whoops. He does play guitar too. But on the keys, he grew up playing piano from age 5, 6, or 7. One of those. Young. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. But he came up with the intro, and for him, his inspiration was like 1975. He was listening to them a lot at the time. So I was like, kick it off, like literally have fun with it, just play like whatever. And yeah, I think the reason why when people hear this song and they connect with it and they love it is because of the piano. Because everybody loves piano. Like, people love piano. So credit to him to like making this just like so palatable from the beginning. And lyrically, See What I See is just like literally about falling in love. And there's like a little bit of like fear and kind of like hesitation, but like the verses are just like, you know, everything kind of sucks and everything's just like whatever. Storms will rage, split us in two, but you know, we have each other, we'll make it through the night, and yeah, you send me to the moon. So lyrically, I think this is like the most at peace about like romantic love that I have on the album. And coincidentally, my husband is like leading the song with piano. But there's also a lot of other great instrumentation that I need to call out, which is like the guitarist like playing a very, very sick solo. Like, again, just like have fun with it, rock out, play like whatever comes. So I think there weren't too many takes before he like did this part. Yeah, and it's very memorable. Like, I could sing this solo like at any point, and I wish I could play the solo like when I play live. That'd be cool. Also, the bass like really moves the song. Like, there's a lot of movement. I mean, almost like with every song the bass does that, but yeah, It was fun to take this into the studio and just like sit with all the bandmates and see how it all came together. And, like, a lot of communication to make sure that every part was like perfect. And the producer for this song actually played the drums too, like live drums, and he's like a kick-ass drummer. He has his own like kit and like cymbals. I think he like made some of the pieces in the drum kit, which is like sick. But yeah, he had like full mastery of like what would fit with all the rest of what was going on. So actually we probably laid drums first, so that probably set the tone, if anything. My memory is failing me, but yeah, see what I see. Really fun. And I announced it at our wedding that it came out, because it literally came out like the week after, I think. Was it the day of? Oh my goodness, my memory sucks. And speaking of memory failing me, this next song is called Can't Remember. And Can't Remember is not just about like early onset of dementia. It's actually about trying really hard to move on, and a lot of like the verses are just about how it's like really hard to heal and move on from. I mean, I did write this in mind with someone that had like hurt me in dating, and yeah, I think every song I write will start with the first verse line, which like dictates where then it goes next. So in this case, I couldn't remember you even if I tried. And obviously it's like an oxymoron, because obviously like if the song is about someone, I'm still like kind of remembering them, but I wanted to sing that like I barely remember you because I've moved on. And yeah, I think this song is fun because the verses are just very like, it's kind of repetitive, but it's also just, it's like an anthem. So to me, the song is like the most anthemic. I gotta look this up. Anthemic song. Like it's just very like chantable, especially towards the end. But yeah, the same band that played See What I See also played this, and it took a long time for me to feel okay with where it ended up, because I was second guessing like throughout the whole process if, I don't know, my vocals were enough, or like if it should be like more produced, less produced. Like, I think this song is so different from all the other ones. It was kind of hard to really figure out like how can it belong. And like, I don't know, 3 years later, almost, I think it was 2 years maybe. Ugh, bad memory. I just had to accept what it was, and any kind of reworking would actually be like super counterintuitive to like the song message. And yeah, this is like the peak of the song where we're like marching out, just singing Can't Remember You Anymore. So if I made a music video about this, I don't know, maybe it'd be like a full-on marching band just like marching like off the field or something, or like down the street or something. But yeah, this song is supposed to be a complete celebration of just letting go and being like, fuck it, don't care, whatever. But yeah, that's how you get over heartbreak. You just say, fuck it. I'm on 10% battery, but I think we're gonna make it. So, Sunday Sonnet I don't know if you've guessed it or like if you could tell by the lyrics. It's pretty different from the rest of the songs in the album because it's not about romantic love in like the traditional sense, but for me it was like my love letter to God, and in a way like there's a romance behind that. So the key and the chords are all really kind of minor, and that's because at the time that I was writing it, I was like going through like dark times or like a lot of like oppression for one reason or another, and I guess you could call it like because of like external circumstances, like it then turned into like the dark night of the soul, right? For me. And in that time I then had to kind of like cling on to hope, and like the source of hope for me, the assurance of things being good again, like whole again and redeemed, like is like God. So that relationship, despite whatever bullshit I was going through, my relationship, my faith still stayed intact because like my first love is always going to be God, the creator of the universe. And yeah, I think this could be my favorite song just because like that's who I wrote about, and so it's like super personal and intimate and really, really honest. But yeah, all those songs were written and like recorded in New Jersey, except for this song, which is called All the Love Songs, which was the last song that I wrote and recorded and all that completed in LA once I got here. Though I had the initial like chorus and like melody just like kind of sitting in my voice memos, but I knew that thematically like the song had to be on this album. So yeah, once I got to LA, it took me like 2 years to figure out like, how do I release this album? Do I need to release this album? Like, has it been too long? Does it matter? Blah blah. But it doesn't matter, whatever. So I did, and 9 is my favorite number, so I thought I'm gonna release with 9. I have a full album, but for some reason, like this song, I felt like if not on this album, I don't know where it'll come back. I don't know. Stylistically too, I just could hear it with a band, and I wanted it with this album, which clearly is like all band songs. So yeah, it's really fun because basically I think we've been jamming with some guys we met here in LA for close to a year before we went to the studio, and actually like months went by and I didn't talk about this song at all, and we were just kind of playing and practicing like all the other songs because I said, you know, it'd be really cool if I could play live in LA with you guys. And once we've like established like a chemistry and connection with each other, I just like pitched, you know, would you want to play on this song? Like, this is what it sounds like. And I don't remember just how many practice sessions there were before we went to the studio, but I don't think it was like anything more than like 5, if that. So yeah, I will say a lot of it came together in studio, as it usually does, and especially like the bass line, I was like, okay, like it'd be cool to like go like ascend and descend in like notes, and like instead of just a regular keyboard, we had like a We had a Wurlitzer in the room, so it's like, okay, let's definitely, why not? Like 100% gotta use that. So yeah, this was really fun to play because I think by this point too, I had developed more of a confidence in singing and for my voice. Like the journey to that point was like a lot about building confidence, and when I first started releasing music, like From Loving You Is Killing Me, that was 2020, I was just more so like, oh, I gotta like finish the song and get it done, like recording wise, and just like check, 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 check. And it was a lot of check marks. But by this point, I was enjoying the process more and not being so fixated on like, just like check. It was like, okay, this is like really we're making art and gotta enjoy like how this is all coming together. Like even just having the right people in the room and yeah, like having that team effort like felt like magic, felt like art. But lyrically also the song, yeah, it's exactly what it is. All the love songs make me think of you. It's about losing someone and feeling like, will we ever see each other again? And I think this song will come around again for me probably in the future and like hit a different chord. But yeah, that was the whole album. I've talked through it just like about the highs and lows. That's like how I've been marketing the album, the highs and lows of falling in love. And I hope that the takeaways can help some of you. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.